two perspectives, and one iconic dish. We document two distinct culinary encounters to decode the hidden rules of Japanese dining. First, a pair of French architecture students on their third day in Japan. Second, an American expat navigating Tokyo life. We are diving into the world of unagi to see how a novice and a seasoned resident experience this summer delicacy. From the novice experience of French students to the expat experience of an American resident, we explore the rules and culture of the eatery. Finally, we break down the ultimate distinction between Unaju and Unagi. Get ready to understand the anatomy of one of Japan's most prized meals through these two unique journeys. Meet Guest A, the French novices. They are two architecture students in their early 20s from the mountainous regions of France. It is only day 3 of their one-year stay in Japan, and their culinary baseline is far from seafood. Raised on a heavy diet of cheese, pork, and beef, they rarely consume fish. In fact, they have zero prior experience with authentic sushi or traditional Japanese dining. Everything in Tokyo is brand new to them. How will two students who are used to the hearty flavors of the French Alps react when they are served a prehistoric-looking river fish? Their journey starts with a blank slate and high expectations. The students' first genuine encounter with traditional Japanese cuisine takes place in a historic, venerable establishment. The atmosphere is heavy, with generations of history. One student remarks that they would never be in a place like this if they weren't being guided, noting how big and very old the building feels. The moment of truth arrives when they open the lid. It reveals a perfectly glazed, aromatic eel laid over pristine rice. The steam carries the scent of a secret sauce perfected over decades. For someone used to casual dining, this level of presentation and history packed into a single red box is a profound introduction to the heart of Tokyo. The students encounter a texture that defies all expectations. Coming from a culinary culture rooted in chewy meats and hard cheeses, the complete lack of physical resistance from the eel is a profound shock. They describe the sensation as literally melting down in their mouth. There is zero resistance to the bite, which is something they have never experienced with protein before. As for the flavor, the rich, sweet glaze completely masks any expected fishy taste. It is sweet, savory, and incredibly fatty. They were worried about the taste of fish, but the kabayaki-style preparation won them over instantly. Their final score is a strong 8.5 out of 10. It is a massive success for their first traditional Japanese meal. The cultural immersion extends far beyond the main course, challenging French dining norms. They tried the palate cleanser, which consisted of traditional pickles. However, the strange and unfamiliar flavor profile only earned a modest 6 out of 10. Then came the mystery of the By ordering blindly, they were faced with challenging textures like chewy cartilage skewers. Perhaps the biggest culture shock was the concept of solo dining. They were astonished to see locals eating alone. This stands in stark contrast to the highly social, group-oriented French dining culture where meals are a long, shared event. In Tokyo, eating is often a quiet, individual ritual of efficiency and personal indulgence, a concept entirely new to our French guests. Now, let's look at Guest B, the American expat. Born in Hawaii, he is now a seasoned working professional in Japan. He spent 2 years teaching in Fukuoka and has spent another 2 years working in Tokyo. His culinary baseline is very high. He loves sushi and katsudon, and while he stubbornly avoids fermented soybeans, known as nut, he is no stranger to Japanese flavors. Surprisingly, despite his 4 years in the country, he has never tried authentic, high-end unagi. He is looking for something that satisfies his large appetite and provides the legendary stamina that Japanese people associate with this dish during the brutal summer heat. Will the professional experience live up to the hype? The American expat is served the giant unagi. It comes in a deep, round, ceramic bowl, and the portion size is staggering. It is silly, rivals heavy American serving sizes, and perfectly matches his appetite for summer stamina food. His first reaction says it all. Whoa, it is as big as my face. He claims he has never seen anything this big before in Japan. This is the beauty of the unagi. It is designed for volume and efficiency. For someone used to the generous portions of Hawaii and the United States, this bowl feels like home. The sight of the thick, glazed eel covering every inch of the rice is exactly what a hungry worker needs after a long day in the Tokyo office. The experience is all about butter, fat, and the magic of... The expat describes the meat as being almost like butter, highly tender and fatty. But such a rich cut requires a counterbalance. This is where sansho, or Japanese green pepper, comes in. It provides a sharp, citrus spice kick that perfectly cuts through the heavy sweetness of the sauce. The taste score is a perfect 10 out of 10. He loved the flavor and the buttery texture of the eel. However, the overall score was docked to an 8 out of 10. Why? Because the rice portion was overwhelmingly large, even for him. It proves that, in the world of Unadon, volume is king, sometimes even to a fault. While the food is deeply comforting, the expat experience in Tokyo comes with complex, rigid social rules. He talks about the unwritten social code, like the dress code. Imagine enduring Tokyo's brutal, windless humidity while trapped in mandatory business suits. It is a test of physical and mental endurance that makes the Unagi stamina meal feel like a necessity rather than a luxury. Then there is the meeting culture. There is a tendency toward endless corporate meetings where discussions loop but direct action is frustratingly slow. This ties into the challenge of indirectness. In Japan, saying no indirectly is an art form. This often frustrates direct American sensibilities. Navigating these social waters is just as complex as mastering the use of chopsticks. Let's look at the anatomy of eel, Unaju versus Unadon. Interestingly, the quality of the eel itself is entirely identical. The distinction lies strictly in the vessel, the volume, and culinary history. Unaju is served in a lacquered square box called a... It was designed for premium delivery and heat retention, using whole cuts of eel to fill every corner of the square box. On the other hand, Unadon is served in a ceramic round bowl called a... This was invented later in history for quick, affordable lunch efficiency. It typically uses half cuts of eel. The round shape of the bowl is practical because it prevents awkward gaps from showing the rice when using smaller portions. It is the perfect choice for a fast, hearty meal. Why the box? This was the genius of the Edo period. During this time, the lacquered jabako became the absolute standard for premium food delivery. It was a feat of engineering. First, durability. Unlike fragile ceramics, lacquerware wouldn't chip or break during transport. Second, thermodynamics. The box acted like a thermos, keeping the meal hot during long deliveries across the city. The most luxurious feature is the hidden layer. Historically, the word ru meant layered. A truly premium unaju features a hidden second layer of eel buried deep beneath the rice. This was the ultimate surprise for the diner. As you eat through the top layer, you discover even more delicious, sauce-soaked eel hidden at the bottom. It is a masterpiece of culinary design. Unlocking the Japanese eatery means understanding its operational realities. First, you must embrace the unknown. Ordering blindly at an izakaya will expose you to highly prized, unconventional textures like cartilage, known as nanka. In Japanese dining, resistance is often futile, but adaptation is always rewarded with new flavors. Second is the normalization of solo dining. Unlike in many Western cultures, dining alone is highly accommodated and culturally respected in Japan. Counter seats are designed specifically for the solo diner seeking efficiency and quiet indulgence. Whether you are a student or a busy professional, the eatery is a space where you can be alone with your meal and truly appreciate the craft. Synthesizing the real-world reactions, we see a unified appreciation for Japan's summer delicacy despite radically different backgrounds. The French novices, used to meat and cheese, were shocked by the melting texture and gave it an 8.5. The American expat, used to heavy portions, loved the buttery meat paired with sansho, giving the taste a perfect 10. Both groups found common ground in the quality of the eel. Whether it was the shock of zero resistance for the novices or the soul-satisfying fat for the expat. Unagi proved its status as a top-tier delicacy. It bridges the gap between cultures, proving that mastery of flavor and texture is a universal language that anyone can understand, regardless of where they started. 2 vessels, 1 enduring legacy. Whether you experience the refined, layered history of the Unaju or the hearty, efficient comfort of the Unagi, the essence of the dish remains untouched. The vessels adapted to the changing speeds of Japanese society, from Edo-era deliveries to modern lunch rushes, but the quality has never wavered. The meticulous, melting mastery of the eel itself has not compromised for centuries. It remains a symbol of Japanese summer and a testament to culinary dedication. Next time you are in Tokyo, which one will you choose? The historic luxury of the box or the giant comfort of the bowl? Either way, you are in for a legendary experience.